Welcome back to the Oddity Shop, you little oddballs, the podcast where we
tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange stories from beyond the globe. Actually, you know what? That stands for today. This one does stand for today. Ooh,
okay.
Spoiler. Who am I? Because you have failed at introducing me for weeks.
Because you just messed me up. I'm your curator, Kara. This is your curator, Zachary.
Oh, hi. Thank you.
And what's new?
Okay, so I do on the side. I have my little side job, my property management.
No, I didn't know.
Oh, okay, you didn't know. I was doing a showing for this lovely group of human beings the other day, and they were so cute. I say human beings. I am going to assume pronouns were probably in the they them range.
Okay.
I loved them.
Okay.
We got on splendidly. It was not the property for them. That's fine.
Are you not friends?
Well, we might be, because Bianca looked at me and goes, can I give this to you? And she pulled a little baggie out of her purse and goes, one of our roommates who couldn't make it to the showing tonight, yeah, exactly, makes sun catchers, like the little like.
Wait, yeah, that's
she
so
goes,
cute.
and it has a little amethyst at the end. I go, I'm a crystal boy. How do you know? She goes, I just had a vibe. So anyways, I want you to have, so I have them all over my plants now. They gave me 3 of them and they're really cute and really darling. I'll give you one.
Okay, that's so
They were great. I was just like so surprised. They were really sweet people though, but I love it. And it's now hanging in one of my philodendrons and it catches the sun and it just looks so cool.
Cute. Okay, so I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure we maybe talked about this, but I can't remember. I bought a book so I could start reading because to de-stress. I think
you were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so then I don't think I talked about this though, and I don't even know if I told you this. Then Target, or maybe I did tell the podcast, I don't remember. Target had a sale where it was buy 2 books, get 1 free. And so I was like, I have to go to Target and buy 3 books. So I bought 3 more books, but I hadn't even gotten to page 100 of the first book. So what is Kara doing? Then you kind of made me spiral because you're like, oh, well, you can do a book review. And then I'm like, well, I can't be Julia. So then I ordered a book review sheet so that I could fill it out and put it in every book. Then I had to buy a book light because I'm like, okay,
this is the beginning of Kara's librarian arc.
No,
I can see where this is going.
I'm like, okay, but I kind of want to read at night because that's when you want to de-stress. But then it's dark and Aaron's sleeping. So I bought a book light and it's awful. I have to get a new one. So then I kind of just went crazy. Now I keep getting ads and coupons for books. Here's the dumb part. I don't have time to read. And I know that sounds stupid.
Here's the dumb part. I don't know how to read.
I don't. I'm a very slow reader. I will say that. Okay. So what I am telling myself though, because I almost did this, the 3 books that I bought, and I can't remember what they're called, I really, really want to read those because the book I started, I'm not really vibing with, but I told myself you cannot start another book. And it's like a reward. You can't start these great books that you want because one's a haunting. They're all really good ones. And I kind of did reviews. Actually, I think I might have said this because Morbid had mentioned one. Okay, but this book that I'm reading, I'm going to give you a little bit of a review. Okay, I thought I was going to like it because it was supposed to be about a podcast.
Uh-oh.
And it's called How to Find a Missing Girl. And it's presented this host of this podcast. So her friend goes missing. She does a podcast, How to Find a Missing Girl, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, this might be cool. Whatever, it's mystery. It's fine, except for this author uses words over and over again that need to not be used over and over again, scrutinized. How many times can you use? I'm on page 200, and I think she's used scrutinized 30 times minimum.
That's where you just got to go to Google and hit, synonyms.
The other thing, and y'all can come for me, I'm sorry. Every person in this book is some sort of LGBTQ plus, and there's nothing wrong with that. But why is everybody you meet in this book?
We love representation.
We do. But it's just crazy. Every one of her friends, cool. Then you meet this person, they have 2 moms. And then all of a sudden they have a lesbian flag on the wall and we need to detail the lesbian flag on the wall for a very long time. I'm very happy that we have characters of all, but I don't know why we have to have so many details about all of them. Just let them be what they are.
She's a detailed writer.
No, she's not. It's awful.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we pick a different book then.
Well, I have to finish it. You have to encourage me, Kara. Kara, it's going to be a great book. Finish it.
It's going to be great. Finish it.
It's not terrible. Let me say that. It's not terrible, but it's just like, I don't think I should have picked it for my first book.
Fair. There's other books. Now you at least know what you don't like.
That author.
Fair. Oh my God, what else is new though? We just got back from Kentucky and Waverly Hills and Hunters Against Hate, so you guys should ask us about that in the comments because we don't know what it's like right now for us in like real life, because it's going to happen to us in the future. But for you guys, that happened for us a week in the past. So,
oh God, I was like, we didn't go anywhere.
You know what?
Do you have a question?
Do you know what this is? First of all, before we get to the question, do you know what this is?
I do.
Episode 150 somehow. We're working on our swearing for the algorithms. 150. We have sat down and done this 150 times. You and I, in just 3 months short of 3 years, have, other than one January where we took a break this January, have not missed a week.
And I said this, I think, on our 100th episode. It doesn't feel like a lot to me because I feel like we should have more, but it's because it's weeks and my brain, like calculating it that way,
right.
The work that goes into all of these episodes and like the promoting of it and the socials and stuff like that is so much more.
And the writing and the research and the editing.
And the 150 episodes, that is mind blowing to me that it's only 150, but I get it. It is. That's a lot. And I cannot believe it. When you said it was 150, I was like, oh my God.
I realized it while I was writing this one. And I have to say, like, real quick, let's float our own boats. I am so fucking proud of you and everything that you've done.
Why? Thank you.
And us, dude. Like,
I'm proud of you.
I don't know. 150. Wow. Look at us. Okay. We'll stop gloating for a second. We'll stop celebrating. Are you ready for a question?
Yeah, we should stop celebrating ourselves because y'all should celebrate us. Just kidding. You already do.
But we also celebrate you because if you guys didn't listen, we would have quit a long time ago. Okay. Let's open the shop for the 150th time.
Woo!
This is a good one too. This is a good episode. I picked this. I scrapped the one I had when I realized it was 150.
You told me that. That's crazy. Okay.
If you discovered something really bizarre and unusual, other than me, who is the first, or what, or who is the first place you're reporting it to? Like local news, government, media, posting it to TikTok. What are you doing?
Wait, other than you?
Other than me.
Oh, my mom. That's it.
Okay.
If weird, bizarre things happen, it's you and my mom.
And then what you're doing from there, just not saying anything, covering it up. What is your plan?
I guess it just depends on what it is. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess let me re-answer when I know what it's about.
You're going to put it together pretty quick, but not right away.
I just want to know, once I know what it is, then I want to think about who I would tell.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay.
We'll go with that. Okay. So, are you ready
for 150?
For 150.
Woo!
Our story begins the 24th of June, 1947.
Okay.
Pilot Kenneth Arnold is flying over the Cascade Mountains in Washington state. His mission? Helping the military search for a crashed airplane. However, what he sees is completely out of this world. Kenneth sees 9 crescent-shaped flying objects 10,000 feet off the ground going at extraordinary speeds.
Okay.
You're lost and you should be. He reports this to the media and it kicks off a new phrase as well as a new phase. The phrase, flying saucer. The phase, the UFO flap of the 40s and the 50s.
Oh.
So it is Kenneth Arnold and his story that makes headlines around the world that starts the flying saucer craze. Okay. But our story doesn't actually take place in Washington or in June. In fact, we're going to fast forward to a few weeks later. And a local rancher, local to where, I can't tell you. His name is Mac Brazel. And he is out on his ranch called the Foster Ranch. And he is looking over his livestock and the farm and the entire ranch to see any damage that would have occurred after a violent thunderstorm the night before. However, he finds something that intrigues him a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So let's get the geography out of the way, and this is going to tell you exactly what the story is. The Foster Ranch sits in the state of New Mexico, approximately 75 miles from the city of Roswell.
Ah.
Brazel discovers a strange debris field on his ranch, and this field stretches for several hundred feet and was unlike anything he had ever seen before. So, what he finds is as follows, Kara.
Okay.
Foil-like material that returned to its original shape after being crumpled, hit, smashed, almost like a memory metal, he called it.
Okay.
There are also thin, lightweight beams, some with symbols or hieroglyphic-like markings, and pieces of parchment that were resistant to fire and tearing. Brazel notes that the debris wasn't from anything he had ever seen before. He had had a few things crash down onto the ranch in the past, but he was not able to recognize any of the bits. He did try to, like we said, burn some of the material. It wouldn't burn. He tried to cut it. It couldn't be cut, dented, scratched, nothing. Locals do start to come onto the ranch and who had said they handled pieces of it. They said it felt like plastic mixed with metal, that it defied physics. So at first, though, Brazel doesn't think really too much into anything. But then he starts to hear the news go around from our buddy Kenneth Arnold a few weeks ago. And he starts to hear about these flying saucers on the radio. And now eyewitness accounts of these are popping up all over the country.
Okay.
So he decides he needs to report what he's found. So Brazel loads up what he can of the metal debris from the field into his truck. He makes the 75-mile trek up to Roswell, where he first goes to the sheriff, George Wilcox. George realizes this is way above his head, and he sends him to the Roswell Army Air Field, or the RAAF.
Oh, okay.
So it's here that Brazel meets with a unit of the United States Air Force. Now, this isn't just any unit of the Air Force. This is the same unit that deploys the atomic bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the World War.
Hiroshima?
Is that what I said?
Hiroshima?
Hiroshima. Yes.
I love when I can help you.
Thank you. So it's not just some random outspurt of the Air Force. These are big smart dudes. Okay. There he meets with Major Jesse Marcel, the head of intelligence, and Marcel takes the materials from his truck. Okay.
So are you saying if I were to see these things, who would I call?
Yes.
I can't call you?
Not including me. We all know I'm going to be the first call. Who are you going next?
My mom. But if I need to call somebody that I just I think I would call Tenny.
Smart move.
I don't have his number, but I'm going to DM Tenny and be like, bro,
I know
help. You'll believe me. You will not judge me. And you will probably tell me what to do next.
And he will tell you what to do with no questions, no thoughts. Yeah. Here's what we're doing.
So that's who comes to my mind, Tenny.
Perfect. Okay. No, I like that.
Shout out, Tenny.
All right. So Brazel meets with Major Jesse Marcel, the head of intelligence, right? He takes the materials. Major Marcel and a team then head out to the ranch where they fill 2 more trucks with debris that had been discovered, and it's all taken back to the RAAF for more analysis.
Okay. So
a couple of days later, July 8th, 1947, the Roswell Army Air Field. Why do I keep saying Air Ford? It's Air Field and Air Force, I'm trying to say at the same time. Yep. So the RAAF, right? They release a press release.
Okay.
Remember, this is a branch of the military.
And this is
47. Their official statement states that they had captured a crashed flying saucer. Immediately, the press goes crazy. This is already in the news because of Kenneth Arnold, right? Headlines go out such as RAAF captures flying saucer on ranch. Let me start the sentence over. RAAF captures flying saucer on ranch in Roswell region. That is a tongue twister. That wasn't a
tongue twister.
And then finally, Army reveals it has a flying disc. Much easier to say. So Major Marcel is immediately ordered to board a B-29 bomber and deliver the wreckage to Fort Worth in Texas, specifically to a general named Roger Ramey.
Okay.
This is where things start to get really weird. Major Marcel arrives at Ramey's office. They drop off the material, all the debris. So then the pair decide that they're going to visit the map room and talk about it.
Okay.
And upon their return to the drop-off point, Major Marcel immediately becomes a little bit confused. Because where he had left all the debris is now a pile of rotting neoprene balloons, some sticks, a shredded radar reflector kite, and other random but identifiable debris, including duct tape and tinfoil.
Okay.
So Major Marcel...
Do we think it changed or it was replaced?
Replaced.
Okay.
He brings a bunch of stuff. He goes on a walk with Ramey. They come back.
Yeah.
Very different.
I'm just thinking in my head, do we think it was... No, it was replaced.
100%, because Ramey then holds a press conference.
Okay.
Not, however, before telling Marcel not to breathe a word about what happened to reporters or his family.
Okay.
In the press conference, Ramey claims that the wreckage was nothing more than the remnants of a crashed weather balloon. Marcel is photographed during this at the conference holding what appears to be a bunch of tin foil. This is that picture you always see of the guy sitting on the ground with all the debris. And he looks like kind of pissed off.
I'm sure if I saw it, I would know it.
Oh, yeah. You would recognize it. All of this occurs within 24 hours. So within 24 hours of Marcel getting the original... Not 24 hours of him getting the original debris, but of his original press release saying, hey, we have a flying saucer. He takes it all. He goes to Texas. They replace it. And a new press release is given. And the old one is retracted. So we don't have a flying saucer. It's just a weather balloon.
Dumb.
Right about the same time, our rancher, Mac Brazel, he goes on a little vacation forcefully. So he is allegedly taken by the military and detained for several days at some sort of facility.
Cute.
Right? Then he returns home and his story changes. He described the debris as just rubber, sticks, tape, and tin foil. He even stated that if I ever found anything like it again, I wouldn't even say anything.
Okay.
So we know the U.S. loves a good cover-up. So some people would claim to say this wasn't, anything but a balloon. Others are like, well, there's a little bit more going on here. But because there was so much trust in the U.S. military at this time, everyone kind of skirted over it. But let's go over some of the strangeness before we move on.
Yes, let's.
Weather balloons weren't unusual in 1947.
Yeah, but they're not, common.
They're common enough that Brazel has had them crash on his ranch before.
Okay.
And if it was just another weather balloon, he would never have said anything. He's seen these before.
Okay.
So then we have the original press release that's recanted and retold within 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Again, let's go back to the RAAF. This isn't just a little rural piece of the Air Force. These are the guys who dropped the atom bomb. They are high-ranking, high-trusted officials. The military also seals off the crash scene for 4 days.
Which... Yeah.
A local radio station at the time attempts to interview Brazel.
Okay.
And the station manager receives a threat from the FCC that if they ran the interview, they'd pull their license.
That's totally normal.
Oh, yeah. Civilians in the area who were either interested in or had seen the crash site report being intimidated by men in uniform. Don't know if that's military or our other buddies, the men in black.
Ooh.
Whatever, though, with all this weirdness, the cover-up seems to work. The story fades from the public for about 3 decades, actually. It doesn't resurge until the 70s. So it was kind of a really small blip on the radar. 1, we already talked about because of the high trust in the military. 2, because right after this crash, there's a really well-documented other UFO crash. That was a huge hoax, and it turned out to be all pieces from a jukebox.
Okay.
I don't know, just with what you know so far, before we go fast forward into the 70s, what are your thoughts on the Roswell crash?
Do you even have to ask me? Okay, so how is it it's a cover-up.
It's a cover-up of something, for sure.
Yes. So you're telling a man that has already had a hot air balloon? Weather balloon, I'm sorry. Crash on his property. He already knows
Correct.
what that means and entails and looks like. You're telling him that, no, that was a weather balloon. It's fine. You're also disregarding or discrediting like material that somebody brought and like, oh, it's just like duct tape and random shit. Like, F are you talking about? Okay, like that's crazy. And then, yeah, what did you say? It was like 4 hours that they...
4 days.
4 days that they taped off the... I mean, I think that seems really crazy if you're trying to tell me it's just a weather balloon. Right. So I could, though, see it being like a while depending on like the debris and the things that they're like researching. So I guess the 4 days could go either way. That could be really extreme to some, or it could be like, oh, yeah, but they're just doing their job. They're just trying to figure it all out. And this is what they concluded. But it seems like 4 days does not need to it doesn't take 4 days to conclude that it was a weather balloon.
True.
Like, what else are you doing and hiding and covering up? I don't know. I just think that it's... And then for it to just be like, that's it.
Yeah, well, we'll come back to what else they were hiding.
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying. They're hiding stuff.
For sure. So a couple of years go by. Remember, this happened in 1947.
Mm-hmm.
We're now into the 1970s. Okay, so what's going on in the 1970s? We are now at a pop cultural theme on aliens, and the public can't get enough of it, right? So we have famous abduction cases going on. We have movies including Close Encounters, Star Wars. We have Watergate and the Vietnam War, which are building a general distrust for the military and the government. It's time for Roswell to be explored again, and it does thanks to the help of a gentleman named Stanton Friedman.
Okay, Friedman.
Friedman is a nuclear physicist and a UFO researcher.
Oh.
And so he's doing a bunch of different research, and he gets a tip from a radio station manager in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who says, you should speak to a man named Major Jesse Marcel. He handled wreckage from a flying saucer crash back in 1947.
Huh.
Friedman is like, I'm in. He needs to track this guy down. He finds him. He's retired now. He's living in Louisiana. And Friedman gets an interview with Marcel, Major Marcel, who starts to just spill the beans. Okay. He again says the material was unlike anything found on Earth.
Okay.
Foil-like, indestructible, strange symbols. He states he was ordered to keep quiet and that the real debris was replaced with a weather balloon for the media. And here's some direct quotes. It was not anything from this Earth. I'm absolutely sure of that. And I am absolutely convinced that what I recovered was not any type of weather balloon or radar target. It was something else.
Huh.
So he claimed that everyone who was involved with the retrieval was clear that the object had indeed been an extraterrestrial spaceship.
Oh.
He knew that whoever sealed it off knew what they were dealing with, and it was a deliberate cover-up.
Okay.
He also lived with a lot of shame for going along with the balloon story, saying that he was following orders and that he had been threatened.
Okay, which we know that stuff happens all the time, so that's makes sense.
So this was the first time a military official directly involved in the recovery of an extraterrestrial object publicly claimed that something was extraterrestrial in nature. Okay. He only comes forward, though, because he was not mentally.
Was he mentally ill? That's sad. What? We're all mentally ill.
He only comes forward, though, because he was terminally ill and no longer worried about any of the threats.
Okay, that makes sense, because he was like, listen, my life is coming to an end. Let me
like whatever happens,
deathbed confessions.
Absolutely.
We love them.
So over the next couple of years, Friedman, with the help of, and these might sound familiar to you, Charles Berlitz and William Moore, start to research the incident. These were guys who also researched the Philadelphia experiment.
Yes.
So they do a lot of research on the cover-up. They talk to anyone they can about it. They talk to Major Marcel, his son. His son was 10 at the time of the incident, saw the crash, right? Any of the other locals who may have observed it. They talk to military officials. They talk to anybody they could get their hands on to gather as much evidence as they could to prove what really happened.
Okay.
That was the 70s. In 1980, Moore and Berlitz, who have expanded now on Friedman's original research, publish a book called the Roswell incident.
Have you read this?
No.
I want to. Okay.
I have not read this, but there's some other reports that we're talking about that I actually found the full versions of, which is really interesting to read through. All in the show notes. Okay. So the Roswell incident details, Major Marcel's original claims, but also with all the other witness testimony. So now things start to come out that alien bodies were recovered and witnesses claim to have seen them. They're saying that the bodies were taken to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, that the government definitely did orchestrate a major cover-up to suppress the truth. This is where, in this book, one of the kind of now popularized phrases comes out. The most important events in human history are covered up by the government.
Yes.
So the entire premise of the Roswell incident book seems to claim that the UFO was flying over the New Mexico desert to observe the nuclear weapons and was struck by lightning, crashed, and it killed the alien crew. This is really interesting, though, and this is kind of like a side note. Why is it that whenever the threat of nuclear war seems to get high is when we seem to have these flaps?
I think because they're observing what the fuck not to do.
Hey, Kara, have you ever wanted to take your spiritual practice to the next level?
Oh, absolutely. And if you're looking for something that feels truly magical and not mass produced, you have to check out My Mystical Forest.
My Mystical Forest is like stepping into your own enchanted sanctuary. They offer handmade spiritual tools crafted with care, intention, and so much heart.
We're talking tarot card holders that make your readings feel elevated, pendulum boards that bring clarity, and spirit boards to deepen your connection.
And don't forget the incense burners to set the perfect vibe, plus crystal trays to arrange and organize all your favorite stones. Everything is a labor of love made from hand-selected hardwoods.
Whether you're a seasoned spiritual practitioner or just starting your journey, My Mystical Forest has the tools to empower and inspire.
Unlock the magic for yourself and seek harmony. Visit mymysticalforest.etsy.com. That's M-I Mystical Forest, and find the heirloom quality pieces that speak to your soul.
Also, for our little oddballs, for a limited time, enter code ODDBALL at checkout to receive 10% off plus a free pendulum, or simply use the link down in the show notes.
Goodbye. And this is where I think you and me get into our things of aliens aren't from other planets. They're either from other dimensions or timelines or something. We can't effing go to these limits.
No, yeah, it's like, I feel like it's like, or it's like a damn field trip where it's like, this is what you don't do, guys.
See, I don't think it's that. I think these are more the observers who are trying to keep us from going to that level of destruction, where we talked about maybe UFOs are from the future or whatnot, but
I don't know if they're trying to keep us from destruction. I don't know that part. I don't know if I think that. I can get on board with it, but I don't know. I don't have a I
guess that's one of my theories, is that what we're experiencing is UFOs isn't aliens from other planets, but it might be us from the future trying to keep them from not existing.
I don't think that they're us from the future. I don't. Okay. I think they're from a different realm or a different planet, whatever you want to say. I think that they really do observe us and they're looking at us like, look at these fools. And this is what you don't do or do. I think that they're observers, like you said, but I don't know if I necessarily think that they're us from the future or whatever.
Is it us from the future, or are they more like the universal watchdogs who are like, when you're getting this close to destruction? Because maybe random thing here. We talk about how Kennedy wanted to disclose UFOs. All of a sudden, all these presidents don't. What if it is this, I don't know, security system or something? I don't know. We're going down a total side note now.
Oh, yeah. I think they're just a whole other non-related entity. Okay. Yeah.
I can get down with that. I mean, we don't know, so.
We just don't know. And I guess I think that's maybe what I've always believed. So, I mean, my belief in them is grown differently, but I think that they've always popped up in every historical generation. I don't know how to explain what I'm saying.
Every bit of culture through written history has mentioned something about something from the sky.
Something like UFOs or skies. So I don't necessarily think they're from the future. I think that they are just observing us and they're watching us. I think they're learning. And I don't think it's any different from us spying on different countries. I think that they're just spying on us. They're learning, they're adapting. And whether they are here, I do think that they come and pretend to be us at times. I really do think that. But I don't think they're trying to like warn us or protect us in any way. Maybe some of them are like, hey, we think that this might happen. And then maybe
I think they definitely at least try to protect their anonymity when we look at the Men in Black. But
yes, I think that. I don't think that they want to be known or seen. And I'm sure there's so many different reasons as to why. But
fair.
Let's continue on with our story.
Yes. So back to it. Yeah, they were killed in, looking over the nukes. They got struck by lightning, whatever. Crash, die. Okay. So the book goes on to state that the U.S. government quickly retrieves the wreckage, covers it up, tells us the balloon story, whatever. But the authors claim to have interviewed over 90 witnesses through the book, or for the book, but only the testimony of 25 appear in it. Only 7 of those 25 claim to have seen the debris, and only 5 claim to have handled it.
That's a really big difference.
And that's where I think some of the details of this book get embellished. But it's from these witnesses that the stories... So remember, Major Marcel and his son never say anything about the bodies. That doesn't exist in the lore until the 70s and 80s when this book comes out. And this comes mostly from a gentleman named Glenn Davis. He's a funeral home worker. He comes forward saying he got a strange phone call in 47 from the base asking for child-size, hermetically sealed coffins. He also said that a nurse friend of his described seeing the bodies that were big-headed with little bodies.
Okay.
With no internal organs like we know of them.
Oh.
He is one of the most cited eyewitnesses who claims to have been part of like the autopsy of bodies and discovery bodies from this crash.
Okay.
Now, I will say about Glenn Davis is that lots of people have found holes in his stories and some untruths and his added details. So whether or not it's true about the little bodies, right, that has stuck with the Roswell crash ever since. Because we always hear about the crash, the bodies, all that. Okay.
Okay, but the original report had nothing to do with the bodies.
The original 2 press releases we caught a flying saucer, and then JK, it's just a balloon, and then nothing more about it until this book comes out.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
There's kind of 2 ways you can take it, right? That Glenn Davis is telling the truth, and he's being discredited by other members of the military who say they never saw this, or that he is not telling the truth and embellishing. Either one, with the amount of evidence that we had, I guess, can stand.
I was going to say, you could actually run with either one.
Right. So due to the book, though, and its popularity throughout the 80s and 90s, dozens of people start to come forward, right? So now we have, after that book comes out, all their military officers who claim to have seen or transported the bodies. We have civilians coming forward who are saying they were threatened in 1947 about being silent about this, and now they speak out because they're either retired from the military or they're not afraid of the threats, right? And they corroborate different parts of the crash, such as seeing the debris field or what was in the makeup of the debris, or maybe seeing some bodies. There was a military nurse who allegedly described these aliens, and they think it might be the same nurse that Glenn Davis was talking about. She vanishes without a trace.
Stop it.
Right. So
how old was she?
There's very, very little identifying details on her.
No.
Again, either very vague, could be made up, or could be somebody who was just lost. Now, this is also about the same time that multiple witnesses come to say that there was a second crash site.
Oh.
And I think most of our popular culture today, when you hear about Roswell, mash these 2 into one.
Okay.
Because from Marcel's story of the Roswell crash site, it's total debris. But most of us remember it as like they recovered a flying saucer. So the second crash was not far from the first, sort of.
Oh,
but this was a entire intact ship with alien bodies being recovered. Now, it's unclear whether they were alive or dead or in a state between, and it only happened about 27 miles away from the first crash.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where, like, I feel like sometimes when you see the picture of the Roswell crash, it's like, they kind of skid it into a rock. These are 2 different things. There's a fully now intact ship with either maybe dead, maybe close to dead or alive alien bodies being pulled from this.
Okay.
So Captain Oliver Henderson of the 1st Air Transport Unit says that he flew the alleged bodies out of Roswell from the second crash to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
He never tells the story, though. It's his wife who tells it after he dies.
No.
So he never comes clean. She says, my husband told me about the bodies. They were small.
No.
Their heads were large and their eyes were rather sunken and slanted. They were not of this earth. So the wife says this in an interview on the show Unsolved Mysteries. She said, when my husband, who was a man of truth, tells me this story, I believed him.
Did you watch this part?
No, because this is the 4th episode of Unsolved Mysteries ever. This is the original series.
Wait.
So they're covering this like when it's happening in the early or late 80s, early 90s.
I'm just wondering if people think it was performative or if they believe her.
Well, that's literally they're half in one camp, half in another. Right? Because nobody in the 40s ever talked about the bodies or the second crash.
But
these things come out later, and it's like some of the stories, they seem like the Roswell debris field is the second crash or what. It's just very convoluted.
I don't know if the 40s, though, you would be talking about this.
I know.
It makes sense.
And if people were being threatened.
Right.
Yeah.
The men in black are probably surveilling your house.
Oh, absolutely.
You shut the hell up.
So then we also have Sergeant Melvin Brown. He's a cook at the Roswell base, the original RAAF. He alleges peeking into a crate during transport and saw bodies under a tarp. He doesn't know which crash they came from, but he says he saw them.
Oh, I think I've heard this.
Everybody who describes the bodies describes them as small, gray, not human, large heads, small bodies, strange organs. So in all these stories, all these eyewitnesses accounts that came out from the 70s to 90s, I will say, yes, it's weird they held on to it that long. But all these people who didn't interact with each other give a very similar description. Now, we don't know if the bodies are from Marcel's crash, because Marcel also looked over everything and never claimed about bodies. I think when they seal off this site, this other crash happened, and I think they were both covered up at once. And all these people who were loosely related to it didn't know where pieces and parts were coming from. They just knew something weird was going on.
That makes sense. I could get down on that.
All in all, from the 70s to the 90s, over 200 interviews of witnesses to the original crash or crashes, or who were involved in the military cover up or something related to it, all come out and have their stories collected. This incident is now totally in our pop culture. Like, it's not going anywhere.
No.
Okay. I know you already think it's real. What do you think happens from here? Now, I'll say this. We're in the early 90s now at this point, which is weird to me because, like, I guess at eye level, and I remember growing up, because we would have grown up in the early or late 90s, right? Like,
yeah, late. This
is still really popular. We heard about this all the time. I just always assumed it was all from the 40s. I didn't realize so much of it came out later. So what's your general thoughts of the Roswell incident?
What year were you born?
93.
Yeah. I don't know, because I feel like in my brain, I just always think aliens are 70s.
Right, which is why it had its resurgence.
That's just like what I have in my head. So 90s, though, I don't know. So I was 89, so I was like a 90s kid. But other than like having pogs with alien faces or like t-shirts with aliens and all the bracelets and chokers with alien heads, like green alien heads, I don't know. And aside from my grandmother, who my grandparents told me of their encounter of seeing a flying saucer UFO, I don't know if I recall any. I can't think of any other alien thing.
I remember the Roswell thing. And I think just because late 80s, early 90s was still a big thing, like being almost as prevalent as like hearing about the Bermuda Triangle and all those things.
Yeah. So when did E.T. come out? Because I saw it in theaters, and then I think that was it to 98,
82.
Oh, it was 82. We did this last time where we thought it was 90s,
I know.
And it's not. We just loved it. Because I swore I saw it in theaters, but I didn't because I wasn't even born.
No.
I just saw
we
it.
We have talked about that.
We have, because I feel like I guess it's because of such a prominent memory that I feel like I saw it in theaters. But maybe I did. Maybe it was watched or something, or reshown. Right. And I thought that, but see, I don't know. Here's what's weird. I don't know why I thought aliens lived in my laundry room, and I would tell stories about this. And you told your teachers you were an alien. It was
still so big, and there's so many stories. I think between 70s, let's say 70 to like early 2000s.
So it was just ingrained in our little brains. We didn't even know anything.
Still, so many eyewitnesses were alive at this time who were coming forward about it.
I'm waiting for the aliens to come back for me. I say this all the time, like every episode.
I'm ready.
Here's the thing. They showed themselves to my grandparents. They showed themselves to me. I was so close to being abducted. You should have taken me that summer. I don't understand.
I mean, I'm sure you've been probed at least.
That's fine. Take me now. Don't return me.
Okay. Anyways, we love the rabbit holes, the story. You know, the 70s through the 90s, it's impossible to disprove so much of what happened in the 40s, like 30 years have gone by.
Well, yeah.
But there's enough evidence, I think, to at least support that something from out of this world was found, covered up, and studied. I think, we can agree to that. Like, it's weird enough. There's enough. We might not have the bodies. We might not have anything, but something weird was recovered.
Somebody has the bodies.
So the U.S. government felt the need to respond. With everybody coming forward, the Air Force, through congressional pressure in the 1990s, decided that they're going to reinvestigate, because not only the Congress, but the public was also demanding answers. So now we get the 231-page report called the Roswell Report, Fact or Fiction in the New Mexico Desert. This report replaces conspiracy with conspiracy. They conclude that the crash was part of a secret project called Project Mogul. Project Mogul was allegedly a top-secret U.S. Army Air Force operation in the late 1940s. Its purpose was to detect Soviet nuclear tests by listening for subsonic sound waves in the upper atmosphere using high-altitude balloon arrays.
Oh my God.
So the project allegedly operated out of Alamogordo Army Air Field in New Mexico, not too far from Roswell.
Okay.
Scientists launched long strings of weather balloon up to 600 feet in length with microwaves to pick up sound waves, radar reflectors made from foil sticks and tape, and transmitting and tracking equipment. A lot of times these things would crash, so secrecy was high. It was all done during the Cold War, right, where nuclear tension was rampant. And they specifically go on to state that the crash that was found was one of those Mogul balloon arrays, specifically flight number 4. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I think that Project Mogul is probably real.
Uh-huh.
Because that would make sense. We were using things to test for Soviet nuclear strikes.
Yep.
But it's so weird that in the 90s, we're like, oh, we're just going to tell everyone about this secret mission now that the Cold War threat is over. And we know exactly which flight it was that crashed, and that's why we didn't say anything before.
But also, why? If no one was like kind of bringing it up, or it was, you know what I mean? Like it.
So they gave the why.
But
their why was that people were really scared about nuclear wars, and it had to be classified, which is why the initial press release was so vague and contradictory, or the initial press releases. Here's my thing on this. If Project Mogul existed, as notoriously as they said it did.
Okay. Why are we talking about it?
Then the RAAF, who originally took this to Texas, would have been in the know. They are the atomic scientists in the U.S. Why would they not have known and been aware of this balloon mission that was looking for nukes?
Yeah, they might not have been. They might not have been aware.
But...
Or they had to act like they weren't aware.
But remember, this wasn't the guy. He wasn't acting. This is Marcel. This is the original. Yeah. They had no reason. You know, if they were acting, he wouldn't have said that they call Like,
yeah, you're right.
He would have never said we got a flying saucer if he had known. They would have known about Mogul.
I think that they wouldn't have made any video. I don't know.
Now, this report, right, that came out in 94 after the investigation was started in 90, says nothing about the alien bodies, no spacecraft, no government cover-up. It was just all Cold War secrecy.
Okay.
People didn't love this, Kara.
No. I think they should have just shut the hell up and not said anything.
They end up coming out with another report. Okay.
Oh.
So this is the report, the follow-up. Roswell report case closed in 1997 because they're like, if we call it case closed, we can just be done with this.
Yeah, we can. We have a reason to not have to talk about it anymore.
Okay. So 1997, the 50th anniversary of the incident, this report actually explained away the bodies. So here's the thing. Before we even get into this report, up until this point, when I was doing all the research, I'm like, well, these bodies could be anything.
Okay.
Right? Like, they came up only in the 70s.
But,
maybe they weren't actually there. Or, you know, all these people are kind of making it up to get on the bandwagon.
Okay. Well, okay. So what would your thought be if they weren't making them up and they did see some sort of bodies? What is your thought?
My thought would be this report would come out. I think if they were making up the bodies and nobody, like, if this was all kind of like a pop culture, we're going to talk about it now and make it up, the military would have been like, the bodies never existed.
Do you think these little weird bodies were actually staged for some sort of reason?
I don't think they were staged for any reason.
Okay.
And when we get into this report, you'll understand why. I honestly, until I read the second report, thought that people were making up the bodies years later, maybe having false memories or wanting to get on the bandwagon because Marcel never said anything about them.
So the reason I said that, just so I can clarify, I don't know if I need to, but the reason I said that is because I could see that being like shown so that people would start talking about it. And then the government could make it like they were covering it up because they were hiding something bigger on the back end. But like people could talk about this and like make it weird and discreet and like secretive. And like, so people start looking at that, but there's really a bigger picture in the background. That's the only reason that I was thinking of that, but no.
I don't think it's that.
Okay.
Because the first report, they just ignored it all. And we're hoping it would go away again. I think they really did recover just 2 extraterrestrial craft.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything bigger going on because in the 1997, the Roswell report case closed. This report claimed that the stories of the alien bodies actually came from misremembered high-altitude experiments that occurred in the 50s. They're like, this didn't even happen in 47. You guys are so wrong. What they were saying is Operation High Drive and Project Excelsior is where mannequins were dropped from air balloons to test parachutes and high-altitude survival.
No.
Now, these dummies, Kara, they were 4 to 6 feet tall, because why would we make them the, size of regular human beings?
Because that makes sense for testing things.
They made them out of gray rubber and used metal joints, so their insides weren't like normal humans.
But we wouldn't know that if we dissected a thing of rubber.
And after landing, they were often damaged or distorted in the high desert heat, and they resembled alien figures.
What I do have to say is, it took them a really long time to come up with that, but
yeah,
I guess that's not bad.
1980 to 1997, 17 years.
But it's not like...
To say, oh my God, you guys you just remember or misremembered the year.
If they would have said that right away, I would have been like, all right, that's not that bad of a... Because what would you have come up with?
Well, hey, listen, if we're going to go down the it's not that bad route, here's why people misremembered
I'm not
the
saying
crash site being sealed off. Because it was often recovery teams getting the mannequins. They were dressed in full military gear, which might explain why there's all these high security stories and censored witnesses around it.
Why did it take 4 days?
Why did it take 17 years for them to come up with this damn story?
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying people would believe that.
So, well, they did, sort of. And this report included photos of actual dummies and the balloons and test sites attempting to show that mistaken identity was very plausible.
Oh.
So, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of weirdness, right? We have Major Marcel Brazel with their original discovery, who didn't say anything about the bodies. Then we have this possible second crash. We have a cover-up. We have years where it went away. It had this resurgence. I don't know. This is one that, like, there's so much more we could go into. I mean, there's 200 witness testimonies. We could go through these. You can find the military reports still online with so much redacted information. But, like, we could spend days and days and episodes on this.
I feel like 200, that's a lot.
It's a lot. And the fact that the government has come out twice now to cover it up, changing, like, I guess I would believe the mannequin thing more if they addressed it in the first report, but they're like, oh shit, we actually have to talk about the second part now.
That's what I was saying. The mannequin thing isn't really that off of a thing. It's kind of stupid. I mean, it is. But if that were to come out right away and be like, yeah, we didn't paint these mannequins, or we couldn't make them like flesh colored tones. But here's my thing. If you're testing it out to be realistic, then they would have been heights of different variations of bodies and weights and stuff like that. So that doesn't make sense to me. But let's get real. People are naive. They've always been naive. And when the government tells us stuff, a lot of people believe it. So I can see that being a believable thing if that had happened right off the rip.
Right. It's just
17 like, or 19, whatever years later. No, that's kind of
They just came out
dumb
with
as hell.
So many stories.
But I could have seen that being a thing that people would have believed. Not me.
So anyway, I guess my personal beliefs, because it's deep in American history. It's in all the lore now. Like, this story is not going anywhere. I have always thought that we did recover something from the crash site. I think
for sure.
Debris from Roswell. I think we got a full craft from the second one. Yeah. Because there are, and other episodes we could do about this, right? There are videos showing that the US government at one point was testing their own flying saucers. Mm-hmm. There's so many stories about these crashed vehicles and these alive bodies ending up at Area 51, to be studied by the doctors there in Lockheed Martin. Like, I think there's so much more to this that we'll never know, but I am 100% a believer that the Roswell site was a huge cover up, and we definitely got at least a craft, if not bodies. For sure. Yeah. But anyways, 100%. Episode 150, that is the story of the Roswell UFO crash and incident. Yay, good job. Yeah, that's just... We can't be here forever, but we could be here forever just discussing this. That's okay, because I think this is going to be a perfect lead-in for a future episode on Area 151. Oh, not right away, not next week, but it's coming, babies. Oh my God. All right, that's what I got for you. Final thoughts on Roswell. Yeah, it happened. It's aliens. Do you think one day we're gonna be like gone? Like, let's just say we have this podcast for like so many years and like we talk whatever. And then one day we just like, and people are like, that's so weird because Karen and Zach are so consistent. They've always had a podcast. It's so weird. Like, where'd they go? They like dropped off the grid, but really like the government wants to shut us up or aliens abduct us because we talk too much. The thing is, though, is like, let's be honest with you and I. If they wanted, they'd have to kill us because we can't keep our mouths shut for more than 5 minutes. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, one day our podcast is going to get us in trouble. Okay. And we're going to say that, listeners, take note. Everybody lock in, pay attention right now. Kara and I are not suicidal if we disappear. It was not us. That's what I'm saying. I'm putting that caveat out there. Search histories. Oh, we're already on every list. They're what? I was talking about that with my I was going to say my hairstylist today, but I almost said my hair therapist because let's be honest, she is my therapist. She is. That's cute. I'm going to tell my mom that she's a hair therapist. But yeah, no, it said something about, we were talking about our weirdness. I'm like, listen, between my search history and everything else I talk about in front of my Google Home, I'm on every list there is, I'm sure. 100%. It's fine. But I mean, if we disappear one day, it's not because I don't know though, because we do want to disappear. Well, okay. We do want to disappear by aliens. If you think I got abducted by aliens, leave it alone. We'll leave some sort of Let me be. Yeah, don't bring us back. Okay, so if we disappear, be concerned, blame the government. But if it was aliens, still blame the government because they need to go down anyway. All right, that's our final words on Roswell. Kara, I was going to say, what do they need to do? But first, we have to pick an emoji.
An alien or flying saucer.
There's like the little alien face, and I think like a bright sun
UFO.
For the desert.
Oh, okay. Also, it's been bugging me since we started this episode. I was not saying that the book had too many gay people in it because I love the gays. I was just saying that it was weird that every character have to have such a weird background as to why they became gay.
Okay, that's fair. That's a better way to word it. I will.
Thank you. It's been bugging me since we started recording. It's just like, let them just be gay.
It's like if J.K. Rowling was trying to write gay characters, although she never would because. Okay. Anyways, side note.
So leave us a voicemail. I don't even want to ask for anything else. I want a voicemail. What do you think about this?
Or your own alien experiences, but voicemail number linked below.
All right. Thank you for listening. It was a great, wonderful time. The most important thing you can do for us is to creep a reel, you little oddballs.
Before we say goodbye, also, if anybody's been here since episode 1, thank you for sticking with us through 150 of these.
Okay. I'm sorry. Another little side note. I don't know if we talked about this. Would you guys be okay, or would you want it if we took some of our first episodes and we re-recorded them as we wrote them in like a better quality? Would y'all be cool with that?
Yes, let us know, because we're thinking about it.
Because we did some really cool episodes that we're proud of, but we just weren't prepared as far as like...
We're much better writers now and researchers.
Well, I don't know if I want to rewrite and research them. I think I want to do them as they are, but I think we should re-record them as we are because we're more confident. We have better sound and just like better banter. I don't know if I want to. If you want to
rehear the first 50, you let us know.
Let us know. Okay. But anyway, so the most important thing you can do for us is to creep a reel, you little oddballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.